Welcome to the S&M podcast with Sean Spencer and Misty Spencer. Real talk with real people, discussing some serious and not so serious hot topics. Let's talk. Hey everybody, we are here.
What's up?
Ooh, it is February 3rd, 2023, and this is
S and M podcast.
it is S and M podcast, and we've been talking about this for a long time.
Over a year.
Yeah, I had told Sean, because I'm super ambitious, that I wanted to do a podcast. Actually, my friend named Marley uh, told me I should do a podcast. And I said, actually, I want to do one with Sean, my husband.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
true.
sweet.
It's true. So if you don't know who we are Sean and Misty, S and M. And we've been married almost 20 years this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing this for our anniversary and also hoping to help some people out and give some of our story as we do these podcasts. Sometimes it will be serious, sometimes it'll be not so serious, but we're going to try to have fun no matter what we do. And so, you want to get into it?
Do we have to tell them everything about us?
No, not everything. Well, we're going to tell them a lot of stuff.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we are going to be dropping S&M After Dark soon as well, but those are going to discuss a little bit different topics. Don't worry, it's not going to get too crazy. I know we have a lot of friends out there that are like, no, no, please don't do that. So let's get into it. Our first topic to open up S&M podcast, we're going to do depression.
What?
Yes, I know. I know. We are going to talk about depression and
So we've been talking for a year about doing a podcast, and we're opening with depression.
yes, I
That's depressing.
yes, but when I said it, I said we need to talk about what we've been through and some of the things
Yeah,
that you were able to do.
it's true.
And I had said I wanted to share that with the world because if that could work for us, imagine what it could do for some other people that struggled.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't you get into it and tell us a little bit about your story?
Well, here goes. So, yes, uh, as the topic of tonight's podcast goes, I've suffered depression most of my life, as far back as I can remember. And it wasn't until, gosh, many, many years later, I think when I was 40, that it caught up to me, and that didn't look too good. And it wasn't received very well, I can tell you that for sure. But it came time for me to address it um, again, and that's a whole nother story. But always, you always, once bitten, twice shy kind of thing. That's where I
Mhm.
was, and nonetheless, I conquered that fear and went and saw a psychiatrist, and
Yeah.
and got straight pretty good
Yeah, for a little
for
while.
for yeah for a little
For a
while,
little while.
and worked really hard, applied all of the tools and in the toolbox, and a lot of things definitely improved. I
Mm.
certainly felt a weight off my shoulders. Now uh, I had started taking an antidepressant,
Mhm.
um, and that was very scary.
And but we saw a lot of change
Certainly,
right away.
yeah, and a lot of that was really good change.
It was?
It was unexpected. A lot of things were unexpected about it. There are side effects,
Mm.
and sweating was one of them. I could just just sit there in a chair, resting heart rate, and be sweating buckets.
Mm.
Um, but in reducing the amount I was taking, the sweating went away.
Mhm.
So, hey, sorry to
I
offend anyone that
no,
might have smelled that.
that went in a different place. That went sideways. I
Yes.
will say for me, I have not battled depression, and I didn't understand why that was until I was much older and I had my own struggles and challenges and was diagnosed autistic.
Right.
And so when that happened, I was like, "Oh, so much of my life made sense right then." And I knew that the reason I hadn't battled with depression like everybody else is my autism kind of protected me from that. It's just the way it presented for me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand what you were going through. It was difficult for me, even being who I am. And not until I saw the other side of it, when there were changes from different medications and different things
Hmm.
that you did, but it was all short lived.
Sure.
Nothing lasted, and that was the real struggle, the ups and downs.
Yeah. And back then there were parts of my life that I needed to change, and there were parts of my life that I wanted to change, and uh, that was all going on at the same time. And excuse me, I think really the crux of it is when you're taking that medicine. Every brain is different. Every human
Mhm.
is different. Their chemistry is different. The chemical makeup is unique to other people. And so one pill uh, that may work for one person, it may not work for another. And so you
Right?
have to keep trying new stuff until you find one that has the least amount of side effects but helps you the most.
It's chemistry,
It
it's
is
science,
chemistry,
it's trying to find the right mix of everything, and
right?
everything else in your life affects you
Right.
beyond the pills.
Yeah. The depression, the pills are really good at helping my brain absorb more serotonin and all the happy stuff that makes people joyous and gleeful all the time. Uh, but the problem is the pill is one size fits all.
Mhm.
It can't change its chemistry for the different chemistries of the people that are needing it.
Mhm.
So it is a partial fix. But what it really doesn't do is address the core of the pain that you feel from your traumas and whatnot in your life.
Mhm.
That's something that stuck with me for most of my life.
Well, as an empath, even though I hadn't felt depression at that level, and so many people in my life have, so many people, so many of our friends, people that we know that aren't with us anymore. Um, when you are an empath and you absorb all that pain, it was painful to be next to you and know that you were struggling so much. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward
She loves
to
me. She really, really loves me.
I do. That is true. But for so many years, we struggled with this as a couple, and we had lots of ups
Sure.
and lots of downs, and it was mostly, out. So a lot of people
Right.
knew what we were going through. Fast forward, and a year and a month ago,
Yeah.
13 months ago.
So to kind of back up a little bit, uh, going coming up to my peak and taking all of that medicine and it doing its thing, but not handling all the other things. So I think the crux of the medicine is it only took me so far, and it didn't wasn't able to get me any further away from the pain that I felt from all the trauma that I had endured. And in its defense, I didn't change anything in my life
Mm.
other than taking the pill to help the pill work better
Mhm.
or me struggle less. And that includes eating shitty food. It
Mhm.
includes uh, over drinking, too much sugar, and not to make this a health show because it's not, but it happens to do with mental health. I really wasn't. I was still abusing my body while I was trying to heal my mind,
Mhm.
and that doesn't work that way. Um, they are one system, and so that's when I said I have to take whatever steps are available. I have to take them,
Mhm.
and so I went ahead and was introduced. Coming back a year and 3 months later, I was introduced to a organization that helps veterans, and I am not a veteran. I was just a very fortunate human being with great friends, and the introduction was all they needed to say they were willing to help me. And so they help veterans get a shot that essentially resets that fight or flight switch to neutral. And it literally is saving lives. You know, we lose 22, 23 veterans every single day to suicide.
Mhm.
It's because they can't handle the pain associated with the traumas they've been through. Well,
Mhm.
whether it's war trauma or physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental, emotional abuse, those are traumas and they hurt the same.
Mhm.
They are undeniably brutal to overcome. And we have example after example in the world of people who succumb to that pain with all the resources available to them, superstars,
Yeah.
and they can't find anything to beat the pain. Well, this shot, it's called the SGB shot, stellate ganglion block,
Mhm.
and it is a shot in the neck of a local anesthetic. It's FDA approved, been around 100 years. It's a pain reliever. And they found by injecting this pain reliever into this bundle of nerves called the ganglion that it resets that switch and blocks the receptors from feeling that pain associated with your trauma
Mhm.
or traumas. So, being a skeptic and all, um,
I'm a bigger skeptic.
yeah, are you?
Well, I'm
Well, I don't know.
well, sometimes. All right. So there's part of me that's like weird and whimsical and off the chart, you know.
That's true.
And then there's this other side of me that's extraordinarily analytical and rigid. And so that part of me just said that. We're just gonna,
Got it. I wasn't sure which one of you I
well,
was
which
dealing with when we
personalities?
sat down.
Yes. Who are you? And I shift in and out, so you're not really gonna know who I am.
Shapeshifter.
I am a shapeshifter. That is
Great.
my, yeah,
All right.
it's a true story.
If all of this wasn't challenging enough, you know.
No, I like to throw more stuff. When I told him, so we're dropping a podcast by February 3rd, and he just kind of looks at me and goes, "Oh, are we? Yeah. Yeah, we are. I don't know how we're going to get it done, but who cares? We're going to do it."
Well, everybody will know at 11:23 tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, everybody. Watch there be like one person go on, which we
No,
don't care about. We aren't doing this for
no.
any other purpose but to just share our story. And if we can help one person,
Oh, it's yeah.
if one person hears us say something important and it helps them change their life or it promotes a change,
It's all worth it.
whatever it is, we don't care. It really is just celebrating that we've spent 20 years working on it and we've had so many people in our lives in Orlando and around the country, around the world, that were enamored by us because we love each other so much and we fought for it. And that's why we started with the depression, because it was a staple in our life. And we couldn't do
Yeah.
what we're doing right now if we hadn't you hadn't taken that step.
For sure.
And I said, well, we're going to have to work on us. I don't know how long it's going to take. But I mean, we had to work on us this week just to get here now. We
Yeah.
had some unfinished stuff to work out. We couldn't record because we were stuck. We were stuck in a place, and then we started telling the truth.
Yeah.
And when you start telling the truth and not take it personally, you can move forward.
Not that we lie to each other. We don't.
But we
But
have.
but
But we
we
have.
have, but we don't. The what I think you're trying to convey is that you speak your truth.
Yes.
Not we're not talking about the truth. We're talking about speaking your truth.
Yes.
And that means speak what you feel, and that is the best way to get a result.
Yes. Gently and kindly, you say what you need,
Right.
not the semantics, not everything that surrounds it. It's simple. This is what I require. And where do you fit in? And so, and what are you willing to do? Because it's a journey. There is no instant answer. And we knew that.
Oh,
We just knew that through the years, every time we hit rock bottom, we looked at each other and said, we want this to work. So what do we have to do? We have to keep moving forward.
and work in a healthier way.
Yes. And that took a lot of time
Yeah.
and a lot of change. So to get back to the SGB shot and fast forward now a year,
Yeah.
or if you want to, I don't know if you want to address the fears and the few things in the beginning, but what it
Sure.
did for you.
Yeah, I'll kind of bullet point that. Um, when the shot was offered to me, I was a broken human, and it showed. But I was so grateful to them, and it wasn't but a week and a half later that I got the shot. And leading up to it, there was some anxiety, definitely some anxiety.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what the shot was going to do to me, if I'd be a different person, different personality, more than one personality like you, um, or do nothing. And
Yeah.
so, not having any result is almost worse than having a bad result at that point.
Yeah, we had
Uh,
fear.
sure.
There was a lot of fear.
Well, I mean, fear and you know, further depression, deeper depression,
Mhm.
suicide. It was all there.
It just
I experienced it all. The latter unsuccessfully, thank God.
yeah.
But I experienced it all, and I get the shot, and my mom drives me there, which was really great.
Mhm.
So I get the shot, and we had to stay there to make sure there weren't any adverse effects right afterwards,
Mhm.
and then we could go on our way. And I couldn't drive after the shot. That's a requirement because you do feel a little loopy,
Mhm.
but nothing major. And so about 40 minutes into the drive home, uh, I felt an enormous weight lift off my shoulders,
Mm.
and I'd never felt that before.
Yeah.
I was almost freaking out in my mom's car, and
Mm.
and she's like, "What? You need to pull over." I'm like, "No, this is amazing."
I'm just not
Yeah,
angry. I
I
don't know what to
I don't know
do.
what to do. And so that was the very first thing I felt um post shot.
Mhm.
And now a year and 3 months later, uh I have no pain associated with my traumas.
Mhm.
I can't even feel it.
Yeah.
I know the trauma. I know it's there. I know it happened. I remember every second of it. I wish they could figure out a way to delete that part.
Mm.
But the pain associated with these traumas, I could no longer feel. And what that did is it freed up space inside of me that I was managing for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And it freed up all that space to and I didn't know what to do with all that space. Sometimes I'd just be sitting there going, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's never happened in my life. My brain goes a billion miles an hour and suddenly it starts to slow down.
Yeah.
And that was when I knew it was working for me, when my brain started slowing down. Sure, the initial release was a big sign.
Mhm.
But really, I noticed when my brain started slowing down, my patience level grew. Um,
I was skeptical, and in the beginning, we were distant at the time. We were going through a
sure,
ton of stuff. We were at a point in our relationship again where it was something has to change.
right,
We are gonna hurt our children. We're gonna hurt each other. We must start making changes in our life.
right,
And we weren't people that threatened divorce or anything at that time. It was, don't threaten me. Are we working or are we not? That was
right.
it. And so at that time we had a lot of tension, a lot of distance, and I was very skeptical and I was still standoffish in the
Yeah, I
beginning.
remember.
And this is something to say for the spouses out there. I had talked to one of the veterans and his wife, and we bonded a little bit over this because she also had to watch
Right.
and then see the after and go, is this real? Is this how it's going to be?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not that there's no fights. It's not that there's no flaw. It's not that we don't fall into the same patterns. The awareness, the
Oh yeah.
ability to look at it and be honest, not lose your mind because somebody's unhappy.
Yeah.
That was super important.
I don't see things as I guess the word would be as cloudy as before,
Mm.
where if there was an argument, I have to win because I believe I'm right.
He still does, but he's just not as mean about
That's
it.
absolutely true.
It's true. We don't fight as hard.
Oh no, 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 no.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
I don't even look at fights as a is this the end,
Mm-mm.
or it never gets to that point anymore.
Mm-mm.
And I think that's because my need to feel good, meaning have a blast of dopamine, to make me
Mm-hmm.
feel good. I didn't need to raise the stakes of a fight to get that.
Yeah, to
I
get
don't
that
need that
rush.
anymore. I
Yeah.
don't need the rush to do the right thing.
Yeah, we actually talked about it last night on the couch, and it was, or in our old people recliners. We're super old people.
Old people,
We sit with our
they're
glasses and our blankies and our dogs,
those are smart
and I
recliners.
eat. They are smart
They
recliners.
have movie theater lights,
They are. They're not smart. I mean, they're fine.
and it has plugins for your
They're
phone stuff.
spaceship recliners. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I like to eat my popcorn, and we're just like little old people. We watch Hours of Jeopardy, the whole
True
thing.
crime.
Yes, that's who we are now. And I had said, we're so different. And we have been since we met. And I had said, you like to go out. You love to go out. And I like
Oh
to
yeah.
be home a lot.
Mhm.
I'm a one night a week girl, if that. So he looks over at me and Sean,
By the way,
and
that's our other podcast, S&M at Dark.
yeah, where we sit on our couch and eat popcorn. So Sean says, well, no, I'm not like that anymore. I was like, oh,
Just last night. Yeah. I
yeah,
remember.
you're right. You are absolutely right. That is something that changed, that incessant need to be out at the bar, out at karaoke. It was real.
Oh yeah. Well, that was how I got the rush of endorphins and
Yeah, yeah.
dopamine. And before we met, I was out 6 nights a week
Yeah.
doing this, and I was much younger. And I didn't realize exactly what I was doing or why I was doing it. It just felt good.
Yeah.
And so post shot, I don't need to do abusive things to my body to feel good. I'm not chasing the feel good moment
Yeah.
anymore.
And you can see it more clearly now. When
Yeah.
it does get there, you can make a better decision
Yeah.
so that you're not harming
And
yourself
and
further.
and less reactive.
Yes, less reactive. But there's a whole lot of other factors that came into why this shot has been as successful because there is lifestyle changes over time. You're going to feel better to be able to do things that you don't feel good enough to do now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
really the thing. And as you start making a better decision, then you make another one, and it's a process.
Sure.
So it isn't a switch. You just felt better. You've had to do a tremendous amount of work from then to now in order for us to even do this.
Right.
And so I wanted to commend you and applaud
Oh,
you
thank you.
for doing that. Not, and he didn't do it just for him. And I knew that.
No, it was definitely for me so that I could be around for the most important things in my life, which
Mm,
are you and the kids.
yeah.
And I would do anything to make that happen.
Hmm.
And I was at the end of my rope. I had few options left.
Yeah.
And by the grace of a great friend of mine, uh, who will remain nameless because I didn't talk to him about this before,
Mm, we're not going to
before
call you out.
this podcast. So, but because of him and the relationship that he built with this organization,
Hmm.
and his understanding of my past and my journey with depression and all the trauma,
Hmm.
he was compelled enough to introduce us,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Well, he
And
knows your soul, and very few people do. I didn't, and I was married to you.
Mm.
You had such a guard up, and so through the years, I've just watched you transform. But I
Mm.
know that we've both done that, and we both have worked on that. So as we come to the end of our very first episode, our very first podcast episode.
Pew, pew,
Meow,
pew.
meow, meow. Oh, is there confetti? I actually get a chocolate-filled croissant when I'm done here because I
Really?
believe in celebrating and reward. True story.
Where did you get that?
I got it at a little French cafe down in Winter Garden a couple days
Ooh,
ago. We were supposed to already be done with this, but you know what? It is what it is. It's organic. So as we close, I want you to tell everybody, how do they get in touch with somebody if they're interested, if they just are curious about it? Who
sure.
do they contact?
Yes, you can contact fortheloveofaveteran.org, and that's for FOR, the love of a veteran.org. They are a nonprofit, and they've been around a long time. And they spend a lot of time at the Walter Reed Hospital working with the veterans and setting them up
Mm,
for this shot that is
mm,
life changing.
yeah,
And while it impacts each person who gets the shot, it affects them a little differently. Some feel uh, much greater success after one shot. I think actually now they're doing two
two, I
shots.
believe now, right?
Yeah, two shots at the
Yeah,
same time because they found that it helps a lot more people for a lot longer period of
yeah,
time. And so, it's been a year and 3 months since my shot. I don't feel like I need another one right now.
No, it's just gotten better
It's
and better
yeah.
as things have lightened and we've been able
Mhm.
to be mindful and really work on us from the inside out rather than from
Right.
the outside in. And so, shout out to For Love of a Veteran
Yeah.
from a wife of somebody who suffered. And I know this was kind of heavy for our first podcast, but we're kind of heavy people. We wanna talk about
What are you
real
talking about?
sign
I
and
just
oh,
dropped 22
true
pounds.
story. True story. Um, no, I really want everyone out there to know that the reason we're doing this is because we feel like we've been through this, done all of this for a reason. And it's part of who we are. We want to make a difference. We want to make an impact in the world. And that's what this podcast is about. We will have some fun days. We're going to do some stuff for improv comedy and give some shout outs to them and other people that have
Right.
impacted our life. We are going to be doing interviews. We are building this. So we want feedback. If you like us, tell everybody. If you hate us, tell
Tell
everybody.
everybody.
Like, just tell everybody because we want this to get better. We want it to be what you want from us. And we're here to give it. We're here to give our message and help others make their lives better, even if it's just a little bit. So with that, Sean Spencer.
Listen, everybody's special in different ways,
Mhm.
and you are special. You are worth it. And so, if you are having bad thoughts,
Intrusive thoughts.
intrusive thoughts, go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
Talk to us.
yeah,
We're here for it.
absolutely.
Legit. We're here for it as much as we can be. Of course, life is life, but we will get you to the right person. We want
Right.
to help everybody out there that suffers. That
You
is our purpose.
you are important to us. So
Yes.
please, 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 utilize all
Yeah.
the references we're given to organizations that have helped us and others.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's all I got to say about that.
So we're going to drop episode 2 next Friday.
Yep.
And we are going to talk about my autism.
What?
I know that's going to
This
be
is
a
going to be
lot
a
of
lot of
fun.
fun.
You get to get a little picture into the world of this,
Yeah, I've been in
who
that world.
does like 12,000 projects
Yeah,
at once.
I think I
Yeah,
saw a Mad
it's
Hatter there once.
it's true. And the Cheshire Cat
Uh-huh.
and Alice,
Yeah,
literally the Queen of Hearts, they all live in there. The
yeah,
Breakfast Club
yeah,
lives in there. So we're going to talk a little bit about autism. It's not as heavy because it is something that I love, almost love about who
yeah.
I am now. And we're going to talk about how Sean works through that with me. So next week, we'll be here on February 10th.
Yes.
I'm doing math. I'm tired. Hey, but we got it together.
Yep.
So good job. High five, Mr. Spencer. Woo! We do hope you guys will come back, tell everybody,
Yeah.
and support us. We love you,
Love you all.
and we will see you soon. S&M Podcast. Peace
Woohoo!
out.
See ya.